الله أكبر الله أكبر.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Islamic Center at New York University podcast, coming to you straight from the heart of New York City. We're building an amazing Muslim community here at ICNYU where everyone is welcomed and respected no matter where you're from or where you're at. This is the place to be. So open your ears and your heart and come along with us on another life-changing journey. Bismillah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري ويشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. After a long break, maybe 6 weeks break, Alhamdulillah, I'm pleased to be with you again. Now we have been studying the stories of the prophets in the Qur'an. The purpose of the study, we always keep in mind, we need to keep in mind that the purpose of the study is not the story itself, but what the story tells me right now, and how I can really make sure that I can confirm the message of the Qur'an and this story that makes sense to me right now, and it refers to the reality rather than hearing information. You know what happened in the past, especially what happened to as we study the story of Adam as an example of the story of any human being. So that's my story. So we will see the relevance of it to our practical life. We studied this verse, قال ما منعك إلا تسجد إذ أمرتك قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. God said, what prevented you from bowing down as I commanded you? And he said, I'm better than him. You created me from fire and him from clay. We studied this verse, and of course everybody remembers the story of Adam. In paradise, Allah asked the angels to prostrate before Adam, and the angels prostrated, obeyed the command of Allah, but Iblis did not. So here God says, why you didn't prostrate before Adam? It means why you didn't really obey my command. And he said, I'm better than him. So this is an interesting concept. If we compare between two things which are created and say that this is better than this as a created being, and saying that, for example, this is a fine point, we have to pay attention. For example, in order to create a galaxy, more power needed than creating a tree, for example. Then we have to realize that we didn't understand who is creating it, which kind of power is needed, which kind of knowledge, will is needed to create a tree as compared to create a galaxy. Have you thought about it? Anyone? So, in order to give existence to something which did not exist, what is needed? Absolute power. Why? Which something doesn't exist and you give existence to it, not the changing the shape of it, form of it, or transferring from.
But you have to have infinite knowledge. In order to create something that has an existence, you have to know about it in order to bring it into existence.
Ian?
Am I coming through clearly?
Ian, I can hear your voice.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying that in order to create something that did exist before, you'd have to have not only absolute power but infinite knowledge. Because to bring something into existence, you have to know that thing.
Yeah. No.
So if it never existed before, you have to have pre-eternal knowledge.
So that's correct. We have to know, and we have to be able to do it, or the one who's going to bring the things into existence has to know it, and also has to be able to create it, and has to be able to will to create it. In absolute will, absolute knowledge, absolute power, or absolute qualities. Why? Why do we need to create something which is small or big? Doesn't matter. To give existence to something, bring it into existence, you have to have limitless qualities. Why do we need limitless qualities? For a small thing, don't we need smaller amount of qualities, smaller amount of knowledge? No, because what is important to create? So, just a minute. Yeah, to create something is important, to give existence to it. But what is even more important, to create it when it is in its special location, that it will be in connection with the rest of the other creatures. For example, to create me is not or doesn't require only the power to create me, to create the atmosphere, to create the to create the sun, to create the food. As one of our friends is eating food, yeah, that's good. Enjoy your food, don't worry. So, to create the food and to create my each member of my body, limbs, so that they will work in harmony with each other. So that, for example, if there was no order, my existence doesn't mean anything. I wouldn't be able to carry on existing. So, in order to create order, it has to create the heat and the system of evaporating the heat and clouds getting up there, getting together and transferring it together. In order to transfer the clouds, you have to create the movement, the wind. So it is so important to understand that I exist not as an individual being. I exist within the context of the universe. That is what the materialist people are missing. In order to arrange my eye, my ear, my lung, and my existence, the one who brings it or arranges it must have the knowledge of the whole universe, as our friend said in the Zoom meeting. So not only the knowledge, the power, but will, wisdom, and also ability to locate it, put it into the perfect order. Endless qualities are needed. So any part of the universe cannot have endless qualities, and they are only subject to the order of the universe. They cannot have any choice to prefer to be here or to act in this way, in that way. Matter is directly subject to the order of the universe. They have no choice. Have you ever seen or heard that one thing, a very small particle, is acting independently from the order of the universe as it is at its volition, as it wills to do something, or subject to the order? Which one? Subject to the order. So they don't have choice. They have no consciousness. They have no will. So we understand from that there, if we make a comparison between created beings, this is better than the other as far as the being createdness is concerned. There is something going on wrong. It means the one who claims this did not understand who the creator should be, must be. That is what the problem of Iblis is. The problem of Iblis is not being able to understand the qualities of the creator. That is why when God taught Adam all the names, he became aware of all qualities of the creator. So that is why the position of Adam was different from the position of angels, position of Iblis, because the position of Iblis is just accepting, as the Qur'an says here, you created me from something. Let's not go there. He acknowledges that he is created. So addresses the creator, you created me, but doesn't know the qualities required to be able to create. That is why he says, I am better than him. Why? Because you created me from fire and him from clay. Who said fire is better than clay? Who said this? Please. Which kind of comparison? Material comparison. Just a material comparison. Fire is better than clay. Which kind of lesson we get from here? If I say I am better than someone else, if I claim, because I am black or white, because I am rich or poor, because I am male or female. Which kind of logic it is? Completely contradictory logic, that everyone is equal before the absolute qualities of the Creator. But you are a human being, and the other one is the tree or another animal or another matter. But before God, before absolute, before infinite. Do you understand this? I think you understand better than I do, because I haven't been educated in science. Before infinite, all numbers are equal. There is no bigger number, small number, but as compared to infinite. That is why if we understand that the creator of the universe must be an infinite, absolute being with the language of the Qur'an, ahad. It means no equivalent of it at all. When we understand that, the creator of the universe cannot be compared to anything of the universe. So we understand that if we make any comparison between my existence than your existence, because I am better, because my body is flesh, and I'm better than the tree because a tree's body is less valuable. What does it mean? Comparing the quality of the created beings in terms of material properties. It means, have you noticed that here Iblis is looking at the body of the of the Prophet Adam. Body, not the human qualities. That's why the comparison is, you created me from fire and him from clay. The comparison is in bodily comparison. So if I reduce human beings to body, what I can do? Well, because do you think my attitude as comparing to body, a bodily value of human beings, I don't understand. It means I didn't understand the value of human beings. I didn't understand it. So these are the lessons we take from this verse, that I should never ever reduce human beings to body and judge about the human beings because of their body structure or material structure. I am on the line of Iblistic reasoning. But I have to look at the quality of human beings. But quality of human beings are something to do with their spirit, with their feelings, with their consciousness, with their conscience. So we don't know the conscience of human beings. We have to respect everyone. But rather than bodily judgment or judging human beings from body side. So God said, قال فاهبط منها فما يكون لك أن تتكبر فيها فاخرج إنك من الساخرين. Now, the translation is simple translation, of course. God said, get down from this state. It is not for you to be arrogant here. So get out. You are truly one of the disgrace. So, if someone assumes an arrogant attitude, what does it mean? Assuming an arrogant attitude, what does it mean? I am superior. I have some sort of difference in my existence. But we know that if someone does not accept that he or she is a created being, needy to be created, needy to be given existence, then this person, this understanding is an arrogant understanding. Let's take it to our practical life now. Nowadays, materialistic approach, this is our problem, isn't it? The things are happening by themselves. This is the problem of this age. They are developing by themselves. Look, what we are doing, or what they are doing while claiming this, making not themselves arrogant only, making the matter arrogant as well. What does it mean? Do you understand what I mean here? Before further explanation, making the matter arrogant. What? They don't need to be created. They are self-sufficient in their existence. They exist by themselves. And God says here, you understand that if you take an arrogant attitude, or if you make an interpretation of existence in an arrogant way, in attributing the things, for example, say that animals are evolving by themselves. It means they don't need to be given existence. They don't need to be arranged in their existence by someone else. Someone else means the creator. Yes, Ian? I think you wanted to speak.
Yeah, I'd just like to, thank you. I'd just like to clarify, when you're saying that the bodily aspect of a person is being approached here by Iblis, is that to say he's looking at the apparent and he's not addressing that which is beyond apparent? Or the unapparent? I'm just trying to understand I'm trying to link it in my brain, how it works.
Thank you. Iblis is valuing human beings for their material being. For example, this is a rich man, so he is superior. This is white, he is superior. This is black, he is superior. This is Arab, he is superior, or whatever. Well, it means bodily appreciating human beings from body side only, not human side. Whereas body side is really nothing. Whether you are big or small, rich, poor, or black, white, whatever. Body side is not important. What is the quality? What makes Adam is better? Because he was given spirit from God's spirit. It means what makes me valuable? My spiritual side, my human side, my feelings. So we should never appreciate or depreciate something because of its material being. That was the previous verse actually. Now this verse Araf, section Araf, verse 13, it is not for you to be arrogant here. If you want to be in the presence of God, in the presence of Allah, what you should be, you shouldn't be arrogant. Arrogant means here, as the Qur'an says, and tetekabbar. Tetekabbar means something is not really big and important, but pretends to be important. Now, arrogant here, although Iblis is a created being, but it claims that I am superior, I am better than somebody else. That is why arrogance before God is a challenging attitude that, look, you did something, but I have also my word. I can say, no, you didn't do something right, or you did something wrong, whatever. That is the arrogance. It means if we now in our practical life now here, if I really try to understand the existence of the things in terms of their own power, their own choices, that they are doing something, they are independent of their creator, even the human beings. Let's talk about it. Can human being do anything apart from what God allows human beings to do? Do we have free will? We can choose, don't we?
We have options.
Options.
Within a range of possibilities.
Yeah. Within the range of order of the universe. Can we choose anything apart from what is not in the order?
No.
No. Even human beings who seem to have free will, and quite a large area actually of free will, so we can analyze, we can study the order of the universe and find out how to make these machines and other things. We can, but still we have to understand that the production of the technological productions are nothing but obtained from the order of the universe. They are not really adding anything to the order of the universe, nothing. For example, this machine works within the order of the universe. Somebody discovered it, yes. but it was already within the order of the universe. So we have to understand that I am choosing only from among the already existing order of the universe. It means still I am obeying the will of the creator of the order of the universe. Did we get this? I am still obeying. Whether I don't acknowledge God or not, still I am acknowledging the creator's choice in my practical life. So how can we be arrogant saying that, no, God did this, but for example, what the people say, let's think that there was something disaster, okay, whatever it is, and people say, look, this is the disaster, harmed many people, the properties of many people, okay, but I, or the state, or some institution is doing something better than what God, or some people say nature, did. But in fact, what we are doing, for example, let's give an example. You invited somebody and offered him a dinner. It is what we do. We may say that, look, I fed a poor, hungry man. But in fact, what did we do? What is already created, we have taken them and offered this man. I didn't create it. So how can I be arrogant before the creator? I didn't create it. I have used his property. And I may say, look, yes, the food is created by God, but I prepared it. With what have you prepared it? Think about it. With the power he gave you, with the ability he gave you, with the feeling that you need to feed the poor, he has given you this sense. You didn't create your your feelings, your senses, your consciousness, your kindness, compassion. It is already created with you. Even you are using your eye, your hand, they are already created. That is why God says, it is not for you to be arrogant here. Here is in paradise, it means in the presence of God. There is no way I can say, I did something apart from what God did not do. Do we understand the logic? So, if we take the arrogant attitude, then we become one of the disgraced. And would you like to say?
In this note, it's slightly ironic. It's actually from Ibn Kathir that due to Shaitan's arrogance, his stature is lowered. So it's a direct punishment that is directly fits what he did. His crime of arrogance results in a lower stature. So
it reduces his value, actually.
Yes.
But of course, excuse me, I'm sorry. Of course, this is a lesson for me. Now, what Iblis did, and of course he reduced his value before God, and he lost his status before God. Okay, but God is speaking to me now. God is not speaking to Iblis. Qur'an is speaking to human beings. So we have to understand it in our own terms. So I have to really understand it, although what you said is correct, but it must be related to my reality. My reality is such that if I take an arrogant attitude, I will be disgraced before God. It means I will be misusing what God has given to me. For example, free will, human free will. I can choose to accept my reality, to deny my reality. Can I not? I can choose it. I am free to do that. But to accept my reality is supported all my feelings and consciousness, intelligence, intellect, everything. But rejecting is possible, but rejecting cannot have any evidence in creation. For example, if we say, I don't believe in the Creator, the things happen by themselves. Is there any sign that the things are acting independently, freely by themselves, or just they exist exactly as they are created? One thing we have to understand, we need to understand, to create something is different from to create that thing in a perfect location. For example, let's say the window of this building. You make a window here. It is great, you did something, but what makes the window's existence meaningful when it is located in the right place within the context of the whole building? That is why we have to understand, to create one atom is important, definitely, to give existence to something, but create the atom within the context of the universe, universal order of the universe. That makes the most significant sign for the absolute knowledge of the Creator, or a sign that the knowledge of the Creator must be absolute. Why absolute? Because he must know the whole order of the universe so that he will locate the atom in its right place. For example, if someone didn't know the building at all, can this person locate the window in the right place, perfectly functioning? Now, that is why materialistic understanding or interpretation of existence misses the point. They say that, as if, taking our example, the window developed, found the best place in its location in the building. How? How the window has no free will. You put the window here for billions of years, it never goes there. It is the right place. And this right place is the perfect location for it. That is why the Muslim scholars and great scholar says creation of something is important, but the location of that thing within the order of the whole universe, it makes it necessary that the creator of this atom must be absolute, must know the whole universe so that he will locate it in the order of the universe and make it subject to the order of the universe. These are really very interesting lessons that we learn from this seemingly irrelevant story. Why irrelevant story? There was a man who was called Adam, and he had a wife, and in paradise, I don't know, if we read it as a story, it becomes irrelevant to me. So Iblis didn't prostrate, it means didn't accept to serve Adam, but angels did. Oh, what shall I do? Okay, angels were good, obeyed God's command. All right, good things, whatever they are. And Iblis is a bad thing. What shall I do with it? But the purpose of the teaching of the Qur'an is not to narrate the story. The purpose of the teaching of the Qur'an is to teach me what my position, what my responsibility, how I should understand the reality of this existence in this world. That is what God says, I am speaking to you in order to guide you to find me in the best way. So we have to read the story of Adam in order to find the best way to understand who my Creator is, why He created me. So we have to interpret this. We have to understand it and relate it to our practical life. and then make it acceptable for myself, so that if I say this news is really this news really resonates me, and I can really make sense of it, I can really confirm it, then I say this story is telling me the truth, and then I confirm it. If I don't relate the Quran examples in the Quran to my real life and confirm it, understand it, and make it acceptable for me, then I can confirm the news that I learn from the Quran. I say, oh yeah, it makes sense, and my Creator is giving me an example to guide me how I should find the purpose of my existence, source of my existence, who created me, what my responsibilities are before Him.
Allah is highlighting a certain kind of psychology here. And so it's not just the Iblis, but it is the personality of Iblis. And
Yeah.
so you can find that there's a lot of people who are just like Iblis walking on the street down there and in other places of the world. And there's a warning here that you don't just have to be in Jannah to be like Iblis, but in your everyday life, it is a possibility for you to be arrogant in the presence of Allah, because wherever you go, you're always in the presence of Allah. You can't escape that.
So you cannot escape from the presence of God, otherwise you wouldn't exist. So who is creating you? Who is giving you existence now? You may say that I have been growing from last year. Yeah, but last year's, what's your name, if you don't mind?
Khalid.
Karen?
Khalid.
Karen.
Khalid.
Karen. Okay, Karen, but okay, Karen. Let me call it
Sure.
as I understand it.
Like Khalid ibn al-Walid.
Okay, Karen. Okay.
Okay.
In order to understand who you are in this world, God says, I'm going to give you a guiding speech. Okay, we get it. And if somebody tells you a story, you know what, I went somewhere and I've seen a man and he told me this, it was very interesting. I said, who this man was? Let's say Ismail. And how old was he? Not get the lesson, but just the personalities, physical location, where was it, how was the weather there, not the message. Of course, if an example is given to us by our Creator, we have to relate it to ourselves. It is inevitable. So that is why we have to understand the Quran by asking this very simple question, actually, while we are reading the narrations in the Quran, examples in the Quran, allegoric teachings in the Quran, psychological analysis in the Quran. Quran is an interesting book, actually. If you don't read it literally, it becomes a boring, repetitive book. Really. So anyways, why do you tell me this, oh my Creator? Now, I am not Adam, I am not Iblis. Why do you tell me this? When you ask this question, it opens up itself. It must be related to my life. That is why I have to take this example and relate it to my life and see the guiding lesson in it and apply it to myself. So I should never ever say I am better than someone else. Why? Because I'll make a joke now. My hairs are long. Ridiculous, isn't it? Or short. Or I am bald. I have no hair. What does it mean? So I have to understand the reality of life in terms of existential value. Existential value is only possible if I refer it to my existence to my creator, who must be an absolute one. How? For example, you may be a student in an unknown college. Yeah? Unknown college. And you may be a student in NYU. What do you say? I am studying in NYU. Give the name. If you are a student in an unknown college, insignificant college, you say, I am a college student. You don't give the name. So human beings get their values as they refer their existence to. Who are you? I am somebody from a country, Italy, for example. No, I am the creature of the owner, the creator of the universe. I belong to him. That is the honor human beings can get. Otherwise, any other identification is nothing but arrogance. And God says, you missed the point. Shall we move? One more? Because it is... okay, please go ahead.
Question. Iblis,
question to the previous verse?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, all right, here we are.
Like referring to Iblis when he was in Jannah, he has like awareness of God and he believed in God and like he saw him like in heaven, let's say. I don't know if that's the case. How did he like disobey him while like have that kind of like
So this is the way God speaks to me. So this is an example. Iblis, for example, rather than saying, if we read the Qur'an literally, we are in trouble. We cannot really understand it. Get out, he said. Look, I would say, if I read it, instead of saying get out, don't create him. Yeah, but the point is not how did he disobey God. No, it's not the point. It is a point that God is telling me there will be an element in your life. This element will offer you disobedience of the Creator. We will see that in the following verses. This element, you have the choice. I have the choice. You can follow an Iblistic way, angelic way. Can we not? For example, I can help people and, God forbid, I can kill people. I have two options. I can say the universe needs to be created. And I can say, no, it is happening by itself. Don't we hear these voices? This represented here angelic obedience of the universe and Iblistic disobedience, rebellions of the human beings. So we have to take it two sides and take this an example. But if I question this, how the angels prostrated before human beings, they got in rows, or what are you going to do? What benefit which kind of guidance you are going to learn from it? Yes, please.
First question, that there is the tangible benefit to our lives, that the story of Iblis and how could he have done this disobedience is a direct evidence that no matter, like Iblis was very highly ranked, was a very good servant of Allah. So just as in our lives, no matter what your stature is or how good you are currently doing, you are not immune to failing or to going against the will of Allah.
This story resonates in your life now, as you said. Yeah? If, for example, if you say, I am better than somebody because I have knowledge, because I have experience. But of course, in relationship, that is before God. But before you and me, I apply for a job, and you apply for the same job. And the people say, this person is better for the job. Because you and I can compare each other. Your knowledge can be comparable with my knowledge. But we have to know that before God, no one can compare himself as better than the other. We are all creatures of the same Creator. I think that's what I understood from what you said refers to. So before God is different from, for example, somebody is, let's say, 6 feet tall, the other one is 5 feet tall. So we can compare it. But between the creatures, I am a human being and this is a piece of wood. Yeah, you can compare it. But wood needs to be created by only an absolute being, infinite being, the owner of the whole universe. I need to be created by the same creator. So I think this equation was, or this phrase was important. Before infinite, all numbers are equal. Do we understand this? So, but you can compare the numbers between themselves. 2 is bigger than 1. But infinite, all numbers are equal. We have to understand all creatures are equal before God. And these are all good questions and good comments, actually. Yes, please go ahead.
So basically, Allah knew that this is going to happen. So basically, can you say that He was preparing this for the universe?
Let me say what I understood. Basically, God is telling me, Allah is telling me here that this is something to do with your reality. In the existence of the universe, these elements are there. So be careful in your choice. Did you mean this or something else?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that is what I am trying to, because why I choose this way. I have been for many years as a chaplain in a college. Students come, and the young people with a very good intention, very nice, very sweet people, very sweet. Really, I love my students. They come to me and ask them, the Adam's story. How can I believe something happened in the hereafter? How can I confirm it? That it is true. I cannot go to paradise and see what's going on there. And God says it happened in the past. And how can I confirm the narration about Prophet Sulaiman? It happened somewhere. No one knows where Sulaiman was. Even you may historically hear something. It's just speculation. No one can prove it. How can I confirm it? This is not the point. So I understood that these narrations need to be understood as a guidance from my Creator for me in order to make a right decision, right choice while I am using my free will. So Qur'an is a guidance to human beings. So if I hear the story only, how can I get the guidance? It doesn't benefit me at all. Why? Suleiman loved horses. Oh, okay. Well, do you love horses?
I do.
Okay, I do love horses as well. So do you think that is what the Quran is suggesting us, hinting us that you have to love the horses? What is the point? It is a universal guidance. It means, by definition, Quran is the guidance for us, not only now, not only 500 years ago, 500 years later, not only in people in America or in Asia or in Africa. No, everyone, everywhere must take a lesson from it. Yes?
I think the lesson with Suleiman was not the love of the horses, but that he got distracted with something he desired or enjoyed and forgot his obligation to Allah.
So
There's a warning there.
it means I could be in the same position.
Yes.
So
I could be distracted with
Cars.
going out on the weekend, cars,
No.
something enjoyable
So
that keeps me away from my obligation to Allah.
For example, you may have a Ferrari or something and say, oh man. So every weekend, every Sunday, you just clean it and look after it, take the picture of it and send it or share it with your friends on Instagram or whatever. That is what we are worth there. You should not be distracted with what you love. It is a good, that is what we are learning from this example. But today, for example, for somebody, a perfect car, or it's the most expensive or better car, the best car, for another person, the best house, for another person, the best quality of degree. So, look, I am better because, I have a superior position, I graduate from NYU, something like that. Don't be arrogant. So, and also distracted because of these transient values. Horses are transient values. So it is an example. We cannot say that, do you think the Prophet Suleiman did something wrong or right? It is an example for me. Don't pass judgment. Okay, let's go there. Do we understand something from here? All right. Now, قال انظرني إلى يوم يبعثون قال إنك من المنظرين. So what does it? He appealed. Very rough translation. He appealed, asked God, then delay my end until the day of their resurrection. The human beings are resurrected because we will die, and of course afterwards resurrection happens. Until they die, it means. Okay. God said, you are delayed until the appointed time. Because why appointed time is important? Because you are delayed because intizar is expecting somebody to arrive at a certain time. That's why in bracket here, until the appointed day, they say. The translator says it. You are delayed. But instead of, can we say here that, oh God, why did you give him permission? Yeah, this is a very serious question. Why God gave permission to Iblis? So we have to understand that until I die, Iblis will be with me. Yeah? One of the meaning. Until the day of resurrection, Iblis will be an option for me, for us. Option. So, as long as I have the free will, I have the choice option of following Iblis. So, when I die, my free will doesn't function. So I have nothing to do with Iblis anymore. But I have to bear in mind that we may choose Iblis's attitude, make it comparison before creatures, reducing human beings. Of course, God and the creature saying that you did this, passing a judgment about God's decision and saying this is better. And I am better than something, and you are somebody is better than something else. This kind of comparison that we studied, forget about it now, it is over. So God is reminding us that the Iblis will be with me until I die. I can never say that I will secure my choice, my iman, my belief in God, my conclusion. So I believe in God. Do you? Yes, I'm sure. Okay. Tomorrow, I don't know. I have to confirm it again, reinforce it again, and I have to be careful that there is still an option to be arrogant before the Creator. Forget about it, not take notice of Him, to be arrogant. So, and also, this is it reminded me to say that, then delay me my end until the day of resurrection. So this tendency in Iblistic way, delaying. For example, I'm going to pray now. Example. We have time. Delaying. So I have to learn what the Qur'an is talking about. When I graduate, then I will start. So when you graduate, then I will apply for a job and then get the job, but I have to get married. So look for someone, and then when I settle down our family life, definitely I will start studying. Delaying. And this delaying is Iblistic attitude. Yes?
I was going to say, Iblis has the option to do what Adam does and apologize. He has that option, but here he's saying that he's committing to not using that option until the very end.
So in the example,
yeah. So he basically said, like, it's like the person who says, "I'll accept God when I'm older, or I'll start taking the religion seriously when I get older."
Yeah.
It's this idea of, God is there, but I have time. Don't worry.
In the tradition, especially, I am rich, I have money, but I am young. You know, I may break my promise, so I shouldn't go on Hajj. Wait until I get old and retire, so I will go on Hajj, and because I am retired now, I will keep my promise with God. But unfortunately, after until you retire, you get used to, you establish habits that you cannot really change it.
And I think we also see that with Allah's response is, take your time. So Allah's not going to force you. Allah will give you that time to do what you choose.
Exactly. Excellent point. If we ask Allah, I'm not going to study the Qur'an now. I'm not going to start studying the Qur'an now. If I choose this, Allah says, okay, you are free. Go ahead. But of course, this is an Iblistic attitude. So, as soon as you realize, another thing I used to say to my students, don't wait for the exam day, last day, or deadline. I said deadline is an Iblistic trap. Iblistic trap. Deadline. Don't wait for deadline. Deadline is for Iblis. So he wanted the deadline, day of resurrection. So anyway, and so we have to, if we realize that I have to do it, this is my duty, that's my purpose of existence, do it now. Don't delay. I get also a message from, shall we, let me see. Okay, let's study this verse as well. Very quickly, the time is up. So, قال فبما أغويتني لأقعدن لهم صراطك المستقيم. It's very interesting. And then Iblis said, because you have put me in the wrong, look, accusing God now. Some people, don't you see that among your friends will say, if God willed me to be a believer or non-believer, I have to be. I cannot really go against God's choice, but God decides according to what you choose. They forget that. For example, if I want to sit here, then God says, okay, if you choose that, I will create it. And He created me. I could have sit there as well. Yes? So, I choose. This is the principle we should never forget. Human beings choose. Result is created by God. I cannot create it, but I choose. But God gave me the option or facility to choose within a certain area, field, in the order of the universe, but promise me He's not going to change His sunnah. It means the way He creates. So if you choose it, I will create it. But it doesn't mean that I have an absolute free choice. I have a free choice within a limited field. So I have to understand that within this within the range of this choice, I choose, God creates it. But most of the time, when something happens bad, that we don't like it, we attribute it to God rather than my choice. Look at the arrogance of Iblis now. Because you have put me in the wrong. But look at the story. God didn't say that you have to disobey. No. He has chosen to disobey God's command. And now he's accusing God and saying that you put me in the wrong. That is what we always say. When we fail or something, we attribute it to Qadar, God's decision. That is what God chose for me. No, you have chosen, God created it. And God will promise you that whatever you choose, I will create it. So we should be very careful when something happens to me negative, or if I do something negative, I shouldn't go back to, that is what God willed. Oh, that is, I feel that most of the time I choose this way and fall into the trap of this. I have to be very careful. So, you have put me in the wrong way. Come on. This is very interesting, isn't it? Don't you feel that it's very related to our reality? So, I will lie in ambush for them all on your straight path. Because Sirat al Mustaqim is very important. Sirat al Mustaqim. Your straight path. What does it mean? Your straight path. It means the path, the option which reaches you. So I will just try to distract people's attention, people's intention to reach you, rather than saying, oh, you know, this is very important. I am going to make a lot of money in this. Prayer, you know, I can make up for it later on. This kind of distracting human attention to connect themselves to Creator is the trap of the Iblis. Yes.
You find this kind of person all the time, where, for example, you learned how to make some money, and this person was bitter because you made the money and he couldn't do it. So now he wants to destroy your ability to do it. Or you were able to build healthy relationships or have a good marriage, or you have children, and this person feels like they were violated or abandoned by Allah, and so now they want to destroy other people who enjoy these things. And that can happen with religion as well. They find you have a beautiful relationship with Allah, and secretly they hate that you have this peace or this awareness, and they're jealous of it, or they hate it, or they don't believe in it, and so they want to destroy it. Iblis is very common.
So among us, isn't it?
Yes.
Right now living with us. So this is a good example. So thank you very much. Would you like to say anything more or comment or anything? Did it make sense to you? Anything? Yes.
I have a question. So, Iblis refusing to bow down to Adam, was it, I know we talked about arrogance, but is it more so arrogance, or was it that he was jealous of Adam? Because I know jealousy and arrogance, it can be intertwined, but both of them hold its own. So,
what I understood is Iblis represents a certain worldview. This certain worldview reduces the universe to matter, human being to body, flesh and bone and blood. The result of this worldview, then God is telling me, look, if you reduce yourself to body, if you reduce the universe to matter only, matter, then you cannot benefit from your spirit, from your feelings, from your human qualities, and you cannot benefit from the qualities manifested in the existence of the things. For example, I see this mic, and when I look at the mic, I can see the matter only, but if I don't really see the design, the formation, perfect formation, the way it functions, if I don't see it, what I will say, this mic is just representing itself. But in fact, the mic is a mic, and maybe it looks like an expensive mic actually. So why do we pay this a lot of money to this matter? Because of the qualities. So Iblis reduced the universe to only matter. So the matter has no quality manifesting if you reduce the existence to matter only. But we understand that in the creation of everything, there are qualities manifesting the qualities of their maker. When I look at the mic, I understand that the engineer of the mic must have certain knowledge, certain talent, certain power, certain intention. Look, I'm talking about something not present here. So, angelic side of the creation, angelic side of human being is human spirit, and the creation, where the Qur'an says creation makes tasbihat, it means glorifies the creator, as the mic is glorifying its engineer. But Iblis represents an attitude which reduces the mic to matter only. So we are advised here, no, see the qualities of the creator manifested in existing everything, and appreciate the maker. For example, when I look at the mic, I should appreciate the engineer of the mic, designer of the mic. I shouldn't say, oh, you are a wonderful mic, and you developed by yourself in billions of years evolving. Then I am insulting the engineer. That is, Iblis is arrogant because it's insulting God. So we are told here, Iblis did not want to serve human beings. Why? Prostrate means serve him, because he reduced the mic to its material body, and for me it doesn't help at all, because I cannot really appreciate the value of the mic with its qualities. But angels did. That's what the Qur'an uses, melekutu samawati wal ard. Melekut has something to do with angel, melek. So meleki, if you like, angelic side of the creation serves human qualities, human feelings, human intelligence, but not the malakut side, but iblistic side. Matter doesn't serve human being. Well, matter serves your body. For example, inshallah, it is getting a bit late, but I'm sorry for this. When you eat dinner, if you think that it is only a nourishment for your body benefits from it. At the end, your body dies and function of the food finishes. But angelic side of food is somebody has created it perfectly, gave it taste, and also manifested his qualities by making it beautiful, giving existence to it, and growing it in a perfect way. When you eat the food and saying that it is perfectly arranged and prepared by the Creator, your spirit communicates with the meaning you derive from the food. Your body communicates, your stomach communicates with the body of the food, but your spirit communicates. And this side is called angelic side of creation, meaningful side of creation. So meaningful side of creation helps and serves human qualities. Iblistic side of creation, matter itself, serves only body, and this is transient and meaningless. That is why Iblis said, I'm not going to serve him. And so that is why afterwards he said, you created him from clay. You see, seeing the human being as body. So these are nothing but world views. How we really interpret the universe, how we really benefit from the universe. This is not a story, simple story. It's a very essential story related to my reality. What am I doing in this world? Which kind of attitude I am having towards the creation? They're seeing that materialist today, the whole world is invaded by materialistic or secularistic interpretation of existence. We have to be very careful. This is a very dangerous age, actually. So with this kind of stories of the Qur'an really teaches us be extremely careful not to reduce existence to its matter, but the qualities manifested in it. Yes.
I think in the same surah, Ibrahim has a conversation with the angels who are coming to destroy the city where Lut is. And they warn Ibrahim not to despair. And Ibrahim says something very interesting. He says, only a treacherous and thankless person despairs from the mercy of Allah.
Yes.
And what happens here, from what when I read this surah, was Iblis loses the ability to be grateful to Allah.
Yeah.
And because of that, he only sees what Allah did not give him. And so he feels like Allah has betrayed him, and he falls into despair. And that is the materialist worldview.
Yeah.
It's nihilistic. Yeah. There's no point. It's, what am I doing here? There is no God to be grateful to or thankful to. Yeah. And I think that's what's happening here.
That in fact, I agree with you. One point I would like to add, not because God gave him, that God didn't give him, sorry.
But how he
but
feels. How
he himself,
yes.
he himself chosen.
Yeah.
That is why we have to read this kind of stories really as I call it, Adam's story is human story. My reality. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم إن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Inshallah, next Tuesday at 6 o'clock in another room. Inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm very pleased to see you again, alhamdulillah, and also continuing to study the Qur'an, which is really life-giving to me. Alhamdulillah. Wassalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining, brothers and sisters.
We hope you enjoyed our podcast. If you're inspired by the work that we're doing at the IC and want to help keep it going, subscribe to our podcasts, follow us on social media, donate to help support us at icnyu.org, and most importantly, keep us in your continued du'as. Until next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.